December might be a great month for raising money online, but it is not the only time your organization can be successful with online fundraising. Let's talk about a digital fundraising plan that will help your organization raise money beyond December. Hi there, my name is Vanessa Chase Lokshin. I'm president of the Storytelling Nonprofit. I'm a fundraising consultant and an email fundraising copywriter, and I'm passionate about helping organizations figure out how to tell stories that connect with donors, build relationships, and ultimately raise money. Thank you so much for joining me here for today's video. I also help create free tools that help organizations fundraise better, like the Email Fundraising Campaign Toolkit. This toolkit includes an email campaign planner to help you map out your campaign and case for giving, as well as an email calendar and performance tracker that helps you look at the key analytics of each of your emails. You can download your copy of this toolkit over at the storytellingnonprofit.com/toolkit. Let's talk about how to build a digital fundraising plan that will help your organization raise money beyond December. The first thing we always need to think about with digital fundraising is defining our ladder of engagement. If you're not familiar with a ladder of engagement, this basically means the point at which you are engaging with prospects and donors and pulling them into higher and higher levels of engagement. So you can think about it as taking somebody from not being aware of your organization to maybe being a donor, or having been a recent donor and then making that second gift and then maybe becoming a volunteer or engaging in other ways with your organization. Now, with digital fundraising, the ladder of engagement is especially important to think about because digital is essentially an ecosystem of tools that all work together. And for the latter to be effective and ultimately for digital fundraising to be the most effective for us, we need to think about how those tools are working together in concert. And so, thinking about how we can really optimize those places along our ladder to engage our audience and acquire them and turn them into donors is what we need to be thinking about. So, what is your ladder of engagement around digital fundraising? From the broadest point of your ladder, the base of it, we can think about places like our website and social media and other content assets where people might encounter our organization online. From there, we have things like email, ads, and also contents and campaigns that make this work all year round. It's key to understand what these points are because, as I said, these points are places you want to optimize all your tools to work together so that you have the tools that can turn audience members into email subscribers and email subscribers into donors. So two key questions to think about here in your own digital fundraising plan is number one, where are you meeting people? And number two, how are you pulling them into your community so that you can stay in direct contact with them and continue to move them along your ladder of engagement? And that question of how we pull people into our community leads us to the next part of our digital fundraising plan, which is building our email list all year long. Your email list is in some ways the backbone of your digital direct response program because it is one of the ways that you can directly reach out to people and get quick responses to your campaigns and your content. There are lots of ways that you can grow your email list, but it's really important to think about this for a couple of reasons. One, inevitably people unsubscribe, right? But also we have people who just become inactive on our email list, who haven't opened an email in months or maybe even years, that we basically would have to reacquire again in order to get them engaged. So thinking about both of those problems that can commonly happen on an email list is why we need to offset that with new subscribers at a regular cadence. Ultimately, we need fresh, engaged people to be signing up for our email list to keep our digital program humming along. So a couple of ideas here to think about with list growth. One, you can think about things that happen on a regular kind of autopilot mechanism, things like pop-ups, strategically placed opt-ins on your website, optimizing your most visited website pages, getting offline donors to sign up for email, and also paid list growth through ads. These are all things that can be happening in the background of your digital fundraising program. But the other consideration here is to think about email list acquisition campaigns similarly to how we would think about fundraising campaigns, meaning we also build a couple of strategic campaigns just to acquire email addresses and build a more engaged audience. So an example here might be a hospital foundation that during National Nursing Week, they run a campaign where people can send messages of gratitude to the nurses at the hospital. And as a part of the campaign, maybe they're displaying these great messages around the hospital on TV screens or in other ways, maybe on their website. And maybe in order for people to share that message, they have to share their email address, and there's an opportunity to opt into the Hospital Foundation's email list. At that point, they can opt in to emails and you can add them to your email list. This is a great way to engage people digitally because you're giving them something to do that requires their email address. The other thing that you can do with an opportunity like this is also parlay it into a fundraising campaign. After somebody shares a message, you could send them to a donation page and can be a way for you to acquire new donors to your campaign as well. So thinking about campaigns like this throughout the year, it doesn't have to be every month, but a couple can help boost your list growth periodically and ultimately help your organization raise more money because you'll have a bigger email list. The third part of a good digital fundraising plan for you this year is to think about how to cultivate the health of your email list. Email, as I said, is really crucial for digital fundraising. So we want to make sure that we're sending quality email content so that your audience is actually engaged, wants to hear from you, and responds when you make asks or ask them to do something else. It can't just be fundraising campaigns all the time. We need to give as much as we take, so to speak, and build that relationship with our email subscribers. One of the things that we can do here is really look at the moments in between the fundraising campaigns we have. What are we saying? What are we doing? What are we giving to people? How are we engaging them beyond the fundraising asks? What kind of content are we sharing with them at those times? These are all things we need to think about to keep people active and engaged in between our fundraising campaigns. It could be something as simple as story-based content for donors to see their impact in action, or maybe it's things like thought leadership pieces or opinion pieces, op-eds that your organization has wanted to publish. Helping people connect with your organization's unique point of view is another way that you can continue to engage them with the brand and ultimately strengthen their relationship with your organization. There are many different types of content that you can send on email. It's just a matter of thinking about what makes the most sense for your audience and also what's doable for your capacity and in being able to execute it consistently. The fourth part of your digital fundraising plan for this year is to create your own fundraising opportunities. Days like Giving Tuesday may not be your best days to fundraise online. And guess what? I have good news for you. There are 364 other days during the year that are great for fundraising. It's just a matter of identifying your unique campaign opportunities. Usually, I recommend to clients to think about 3 to 4 times a year what are some high quality digital campaigns that they can run across multiple channels. So, email, social media, ads, things like that. It can be a little overwhelming to think about because you literally could do anything. But to me, this is also the creative part of fundraising, is how we can really think about a unique and compelling reason to give and to create that opportunity that will get people plugged into the cause. So if you're thinking about this, some ways that you can get started with it are thinking about how you can position your cause within awareness days, awareness months, other opportunities in the social pop culture landscape that might make sense for people to donate to your cause. There's a clear tie-in and it can help just boost the awareness of what you're doing in the context of something greater. Now, if you need help thinking about how to plan these type of campaigns, I encourage you to grab a copy of the Email Fundraising Campaign Toolkit. Inside of there, there's an email campaign planner tool that will walk you through some of the different messaging aspects of campaigns and help you really think about how to position your campaign in the best possible way to maximize engagement. Now, the last part of your digital fundraising plan is to thank your donors and also reach out on other channels. I know we're talking about digital here, but I don't want you to put all your eggs in one basket. That's never what we want to have happen in fundraising. It's really valuable to think about how we can connect with donors in other places to maximize the relationships and also hopefully identify some of the best prospects we have for other types of gifts. Stewarding and cultivating your donors in the long run, or maybe just for that larger gift the next time they give. Making sure you have great systems in place to thank your donors is really key here. So ensuring you have things like your automated email set up for tax receipting purposes, but also you may want to think about some sort of drip or automation campaign with really thoughtful stewardship content that might go out over a few weeks or maybe even a month after that initial gift that they make. You can also think about how to incorporate messages of gratitude into your content all year long, right? So if you were sending out an impact story, including even just a sentence or two in there about how donor support makes stories like this possible, or donor support is part of what helps your organization have a great impact like this in the community, are little ways that we can continue to weave in the message of gratitude and remind donors that their gift is making a difference. So that is your 5-part digital fundraising plan for this year. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Will you incorporate any of these tactics into your plan this year? Let me know. I'll see you down there.